I'm such a fan.
Oh yeah? What is it you do?
Espionage.
Would you sign my book?
Here we go. I love this book.
Today we're going to review Argylle, a movie that I recently got to watch in theaters, which is a spy thriller, but it's also a little bit of a comedy as well. It stars the character Elly Conway, who is a world-renowned author who is famous for writing the Argylle series, which is a spy thriller book based off of a character named Agent Argylle, who is after a master file that's going to implicate the Directorate, an evil spy organization, in many crimes, and this master file is basically the silver bullet to take him down. And that's what kind of the book is about that Elly is writing. But as Ellie's writing her final chapter, she's approached by a real spy who tells her that she's in danger. It turns out that what Elly has been writing in her books has been actually coming to life in real life, and she didn't even know that she was doing that because she was just using her own creative imagination.
What you wrote in your new book actually happened, and you kicked a hornet's nest you didn't even know existed.
She kicked a hornet's nest she didn't even know existed by writing those books, and now she's in trouble because a real rogue spy organization wants to find her and capture her so that they can use her to find a real version of the secret file that was supposed to take them down. So it's really crazy how what she writes actually comes to happen in real life. So she's going through, I thought this was just a book, so now she's going through something that's completely turned her world upside down in a way that now she has to figure out who can she trust and who can't she trust, just like a normal spy would. So this film is really entertaining, it's very funny, and it's got a lot to unpack. So I'm going to start with just explaining my thoughts about the content in the film, and then we'll jump into my overall thoughts about what the film was like with the plot and stuff. So overall, with the ripe apples, there is a spy, the real life spy, his name is Aiden, and he really wants to help Elly be able to get safe. He realizes that she didn't ask for any of this, so he's constantly trying to protect her. Even though Elly can be a little bit in pain sometimes, for the most part, Aiden tries to be honest with her and what's going on and tries to keep her safe. Elly's life is completely changed by these events, and it's a lot for her. It's really emotional, but at the same time, she knows she needs to do the right thing and help the right people. Once she figures out exactly who's the good guy and who isn't the good guy, she helps the person that's good to defeat the rogue spy organization. So that was a really good part of the film. But when you go over to Rotten Apples, there's a lot to unpack here, and I was kind of surprised that this got a PG-13 rating for some of the content in here. But there's definitely a lot worth pointing out. For violence content, it's a spy movie, so there's a bunch of shooting and stabbing with knives. We see a little bit of blood. We hear some details about how people are getting shot. We see a lot of blood. We see some knives sticking out of people. I mean, it can get pretty brutal at sometimes, but most of the violence stays PG-13. If you've seen a Marvel film or another PG-13 spy movie like Mission Impossible, you're pretty much seeing the same type of violence in this film. Go over to sexual content, there are a couple of low-cut dresses where you see some cleavage and some leg, as well as we do see one couple kiss a couple of times. There also was a suggestive dance that is used a couple of times throughout the film. It's kind of, we see probably 3 times. It's called the whirly bird or something like that. And then we do hear one person be called a pervert for having cameras. If we move over to drug and alcohol, there's a couple of alcoholic beverages consumed at a couple of different bars, and that's really all we really see for drug and alcohol content. Now, the language is definitely the biggest thing that I did not like in this film. There's like 20 uses of the Lord's name in vain, half of them combined with D words. We hear some S words, shortened curse words, and then we hear the S word at least 5 times. The F bomb's used once. In one action scene, we hear a song that is saying, it says something similar to the F-bomb. It says the word funk, but it's very similar to the F-bomb. So when watching that scene, you may think that that's what's actually being said because it's so close. Speaking of the F-bomb, there is one F-bomb that is in this film as well.
Time for you to meet the real Agent Argylle.
Overall, my thoughts on this film, I think it was funny. It definitely had a lot of laughs. very clever, some of the jokes that they put in there. It definitely isn't a serious spy thriller at all. There's a joke almost every 5 minutes. It's really funny, which is my cup of tea. There's a lot of twists and turns that you don't really expect, so it's always keeping you on the edge of the seat and keeping you entertained. It's a 2.5-hour movie almost, but it felt like it was 15 minutes. I mean, it is really entertaining. If you go over to the fact that you have Henry Cavill and John Cena in the cast, some of those bigger names are only in the movie for like 15 minutes, so that was kind of a disappointment, but I understand why they weren't in there for as long as they were, and when they are on screen, it's amazing. And I'd totally watch a movie with just them and the cast from inside the book, but because how good they did at their part. But I would have preferred to see more of them if possible. But overall, it wasn't a bad movie. It's better than some of the movies that have come out recently from major studios. I wasn't disappointed with the comedy. I really enjoyed it. I'd watch it again. It was pretty interesting. It's probably a great spy thriller if you like comedy and you also like a little bit of action and some twists and turns so you have no idea what's going on. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie or if you plan on seeing it, and if there's any other films with any of the people in the cast or another spy thriller that's also a comedy that you'd like me to check out, and I'll get that review for you. Thank you and have a good rest of your day.
God, I hate that cat.